Folks, welcome back to the show. It's the third segment right here on The Cut. I'm Craig Shelton, joined in studio. Well, we're not actually in studio tonight, but joined here on the show, my man Jermaine Everett, talking Rockets and NBA with me right now. Andrew Martell joins us tonight. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right.
Fantastic. And he'll join us on the conversation. Tell folks a little bit about that Facebook group you have going on Facebook.
It's called Man Up H-Town Sports Talk. We talk about sports all day, all night, H-Town style. It's a pretty even-sized group, medium-sized group, but we get down in there. It's real good knowledgeable sports people in there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I enjoy checking out the sports talk. I don't do a whole lot of talking in group pages because I don't like to curse people out. Well, actually, I do like to curse people out in a really good way. But I just like to kind of just hang back and group pages have become my sports talk radio almost. If a good thread gets going, I can just sit there and read the thread, and I'll be cracking up. I'll laugh, I'll enjoy it, but I don't really like to participate. But I do like to post, get people to come check us out at HoustonMediaWatch.com. And I love it when the people who manage their group page do not delete my tweet, my post when I'm trying to advertise what we're doing right here on The Cut. So I appreciate you not deleting those.
Oh man, I promote it, man. Like I always told you, when we was over at that other radio station over there, KCOH. KCOH. But I always told y'all. I've always you always been a mentor of mine, from afar. You never known that, but I remember when you was on the radio and the Cheryl Swoops thing and all that. Anything you want to do, I can promote it.
My wife, though. Welcome to the show, man.
All right, thanks a lot.
We're gonna keep going with the Rocket talking. We kind of picking through the Rockets roster and just talking about some various needs of the team. And we started off in the last segment and talked a little bit about the forward position. That's obviously, the Rockets know who their point guard is starting.
Right.
Even though one could make an argument that Patrick Beverly should be the starting point guard on this team. I think it just makes things happen defensively.
Yes.
And being that we don't really need scoring from the point guard in this particular lineup. The scoring is coming from the 2, the 3, and the 5 primarily. But Jeremy Lin is the starter on this basketball team. Chandler Parsons is the incumbent at 3, of course, James Harden at 2, and Dwight Howard down low. But the 4 position between Terrence Jones and Donatas Montenunas is one that we pretty much came to a consensus on the last segment between Jermaine, myself, and Big Richard Walker that Terrence Jones is the guy to go with, but we don't know what Kevin McHale is going to determine to be the best guy. The next area that jumps right out at you, and one could say that probably should have been the first thing, the Rockets' defense last season was the second worst defensive team in the league. Some of that has to do with the fact that the type of offensive pace the Rockets run, you give up a lot of easy baskets. They're just hard to keep that discipline, possession to possession, game to game, particularly when you get to back-to-back road games. Playing at that pace, especially when you got one guy that's taking on the bulk of the offense, and that guy has to defend what's normally the premier scoring option on other teams at the 2. It's just a bad scenario. Amir Asik is a good one-on-one defender, good help defender, but not a shot blocker. And teams will threaten the lane and try to breach that defense even when he's in there. But now with Dwight Howard, you guys have an opportunity to talk about the potential of what this defense can do. We'll start with you, man.
I believe that this defense has a potential to be probably a top 5 defense.
That good?
Yeah. You got to think about so many. It was so many extra possessions that you gave the team last year because of that fanatic pace that they ran, shooting a lot of 3-pointers too. And you got to remember, 3-pointer equals what? Long rebounds. That's fast breaks. I just think their defense was better than advertised last year. But you're going to see a lot different defense this year because you got that anchor in the middle that a lot of teams, they're not going to go and test Dwight. They're not.
Can you be the second worst defense in basketball and someone actually say, well, that defense was better than advertised?
Yeah.
Can you be that bad and say that?
Yeah.
How?
Well, personnel. First of all, you plug up a ankle piece in the middle. Everybody now, their assignments are different. They can press now. They can get on that outside offensive player.
That's going toward this year's improvement.
Right.
But in regard to
the last year statement.
last year is saying that they were better than advertised.
Well, because
in what way?
Because last year they gave so many extra possessions by how they played.
Yeah, but at what point in the playoffs last year did you see this team make stops that indicated that they were a better defensive team than what we saw all year? Shouldn't be that hard.
It was probably game 3, maybe.
I don't know. I just think they were bad. I think the defense was bad last season. I think because you didn't have a true shot blocker on the floor.
Right.
Even when you had your best defensive unit on the floor.
Right.
Even when Amir Isaac is on the floor, he's not a shot blocker. You don't have to get it from the 5. You can get it from the 4 or the 3. The Heat get it from the 2 with Dwayne Wade.
Exactly. See, the thing is with Isaac on the floor, he's a great, like you said, one-on-one defender. But in order to be a great shot blocker and a great shot changer and intimidator in the middle, you need to be a good help defender shot blocking. Because when that guard is coming from that strong side with the ball and you're on the weak side, you have to be able to leave your man, get over to him, and give him enough confidence to think that he's going to get that shot up, block his shot, but at the same time, make sure you cover back in case he whips it around and passes it to your man that you just left.
Excuse me. I want to talk a little bit about the bench. A couple of additions on the bench that I really think were great pickups by Darren Ward that are really going to help this team. And I'm going to start with Randy Brewer. I think this is a guy that the Rockets organization probably had their eyes on, if I remember correctly, back when he first came out of college.
Yeah.
And I just think that he's a good fit. He'll be a Kevin McHale type of guy. And he can do a little bit of everything to really help James Harden get good minutes, rest on the bench, sit down, take a breather without losing a whole lot. There are a few points with that mid-range jumper. He's going to defend well, and he can get some offensive rebounds.
Right.
Excuse me. But the second guy that most folks won't be familiar with the Rockets, and the Rockets have it's often said when the Rockets make a transition or make a move, oh wow, another 6'9" tweener. Those guys are very important in this league.
Yeah.
Because for a guy to be
especially with the players nowadays,
that means he's quick for a big, and big for a small.
Exactly. Exactly.
Play with it. Amari Caspi is going to help the Houston Rockets. I promise you, Caspi will help the Rockets. I remember when he was drafted, he was like, the reason I remember it, not because I knew of him before he came to play ball in the United States, but I remember distinctly the comments about him being the first Israeli
born, right? Yeah.
And that's why the name stuck with me. When I realized the Rockets had signed him, for a moment I thought, oh, that's the guy. You know, no, it's not.
Right.
And I realized it was. In the Rockets opener last week against New Orleans, he had 20 points in 21 minutes on 9 of 10 shooting, 2 for 3 from behind the 3-point line, 1 block, and he had a couple of turnovers. And playing with a team with no continuity that you just joined, at that pace they play with, I'll take those 2 turnovers in 21 minutes if you go give me 20 points. I think those two guys, and then you take what you're already working with,
right?
With Patrick Beverly, Amir Isaac, the Rockets bench all of a sudden, this team is as deep as any team. You think the Heat would trade for the Rockets bench?
Oh yeah, and me personally,
in a heartbeat.
Right, me personally,
I'm looking forward to some production now.
I like the Ronnie Brewer pickup more than I like the Caspi pickup because of Ronnie Brewer's defensive capabilities. He's the kind of guy that when Harden is he needs a breather, you can put him in, and while he may not be able to give you the type of offensive production that some guys that come off the bench and just give their teams a spark to give, but what he gives you on the defensive end, preventing the other team from scoring, is just as valuable as filling up the bucket on your own end. So I think, to me, between those two guys, I like the Brewer pickup more than I like the Casper pickup for that reason.
I can't like the Brewer pickup more than I like Omari Casper. I like them both. But I can't, and I'm gonna tell you why I can't. What does Del Defino play now?
He plays
back in Milwaukee.
Right.
Who's gonna fill that role? That was a significant role for the Rockets last year. Carlos made shots.
Yes, he did.
Caspi can make those shots.
Yeah.
Somebody, you got to get that offense from somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm not debating the Brewer point one bit. I'm not liking one over the other one because they both facilitate two different needs.
Right.
And a lot of times, I would imagine it's going to be enough instances to matter where they'll be on the floor at the same time.
Yeah.
So if you go to that and you lose offense at the two and Harden sits down, you turn around and at minimum, if you set Chandler Parsons down, if you don't lose anything scoring wise, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how prolific of a scorer he is by comparison to Chandler Parsons, because Chandler does so much other stuff. So I guess scoring wise, I do know it's probably about the same. And he may even have potential to be a better scorer than Chandler.
He could,
but Chandler does a whole lot for you.
Right.
Yeah. Right in the Craig type dirty.
Yes.
Dirty
Yes. Yes. It was a great analogy.
Playing dirty ball for you. I don't mean obviously dirty.
Just the hustle points.
That's right. So I like what you're saying about Brewer. I'm in agreement with you, but I can't like one more than the other because they have two different needs.
Right.
And they facilitate those needs. Folks, you should hang in there. We're going to run to another segment and we'll be back with the final segment of the show of this week's broadcast of the Cut. I'm Craig Shelton of HMW. I encourage you to go check out the website, HoustonMediaWatch.com. That's HoustonMediaWatch.com. Go check it out. I promise we got plenty of content there for you. You can catch podcasts of the show. All right, we'll be right back.